Republican Spencer Pratt is the last thing Los Angeles needs for mayor. Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors. Pratt thinks LA needs thousands more police officers rather than more social workers. And Republican Spencer Pratt thinks public employee unions should have less power.
He doesn't want to spend public funds to house our unhoused neighbors, the euphemism of the year. He doesn't want unions to be more powerful in California? How outrageous. You'd think that's like Babylon Bee, right? I'm still not convinced that it's not, but I'm told that it's not. Pratt is now forcing his opponents to backtrack on their past idiocy as well, which has been another fun part of this experiment of him actually running and finding success and finding common sense people in LA that support him. Councilwoman Nithya Raman, who is hands down the worst candidate in this race, with an extremely awkward moment after last week's debate.
I want to have an honest conversation about public safety. I want to make sure we're paying our city workforce well. I want to make sure we're maintaining our police force and expanding other kinds of responses to calls for help from people.
So you no longer believe in defunding the police?
No.
No. Jillian's already laughing. Jillian Michaels is the host of the Keeping It Real podcast. You live in this place, and God bless you for it, because I know how hard it is. I was there for a few years myself. It's gotten somehow crazier, but the fact that that is running for mayor is just so mind-boggling, and they finally got her to admit that all those tweets and all that nonsense, all that noise she made years ago about defunding the police was just chaos.
That was my favorite part of that entire clip, the words, no longer. And it's like, no. Well, geez, I wonder why. Is it because 3 people got stabbed outside of a Whole Foods in Venice, Los Angeles? I mean, could that be why? Because crime is rampant. Homelessness is out of control. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's embarrassing for me to watch that, for her.
It's so well, and you know what's really embarrassing is that it's taken this much to get these people to admit that they're psychotic. And I mean, you're looking at this city, and it's like, did you see the ad that Pratt put out where it's like LA's like perfect, and people are talking about how amazing it could be and stuff like that? That really is how it should be. And what's incredible is that they've gotten somehow the people of that city to accept that it is as bad as it is and there's nothing that can be done, that there's not a coalition stronger to say, I mean, I don't know how Pratt doesn't have 80% support.
I can't wrap my head around that as well. I cannot figure out why people are not literally ejecting Karen Bass. I don't know if you saw the clip of her recently saying that while she is responsible for the fire, it's because of unprecedented climate change. And all I could think was, does everybody forget that the reservoir uphill from the Palisades was empty for a year and a half, or the fact that she defunded the fire department despite them warning her that they were woefully unprepared and underfunded by $17 million before that last fire in the Palisades? The list is so long of all of her negligence and all of her incompetence and all of her lies. I have to believe that Californians do know this. They're just afraid to say it out loud because of the consequences in California, and that they will vote properly in Los Angeles for Spencer Pratt. I am praying.
That's what I think. That's what I think, too. You know, I saw a tweet from Doug Ellen, the guy that produced Entourage, which is an iconic Los Angeles show. And, you know, he just put out there that Karen Bass should not be running this city any longer, but he wouldn't say anything else. And that, to me, is so indicative of the problem, is that you just can't say what you really mean, which is that Pratt, now. He's just, well, it shouldn't be Karen Bass. Everybody's terrified because as soon as you label somebody MAGA, which is all they say about Spencer Pratt, even though he's not.
That's right.
You know, as soon as you label him that, he's toxic. You can't vote for him.
In fact, the top pejorative in that ad that you just ran is they're like, Spencer Pratt is a Republican. He's running as an independent, actually. Yeah. But God forbid he was a Republican, like the ultimate deplorable. And ironically, California voted 38% Republican for Donald Trump in the last election. That's a heck of a lot of people for that state. Says a lot.
It is. I love watching this young man do his thing, and I hope for your sake that somebody can come in there and clean, because that was such a great town. When I lived there, I mean, they hadn't fully destroyed it yet. I was there in like 2008. And it was a lot of fun. And every time I go back, I'm disappointed by what I see.
It gets worse
Gets worse
and worse, but the people are aware of it. So hopefully, they might be staying silent publicly, but hopefully privately, they make a change with their vote.
We vote in a quiet little booth, and you got to love that part of it. Good to have you, Jillian Michaels, always.
Thanks for having me.